Science and scientific knowledge are very important in our society. Their application satisfies human needs, which in turn results into improved standards of living. Subsequently, because it affects people, it is important that everyone should know and understand the scientific principles underlying the natural processes, as well as the causes and consequences, both useful and adverse, of scientific advances and innovations. These have profound ethical, legal, and social implications. Journals are among the most important modes for academics and researchers to put into writing and disseminate information about their exploration and discoveries. Several publications have appeared in the early centuries, but those that resemble the current academic and scholastic journal came about in 1665. In January of that year, Journal des Savants was published in Europe by French lawyer and writer Denis Diderot. It contains discoveries and experiments in the fields of arts and sciences, as well as legal reports from French and foreign courts. 2 months after, the Royal Society, United Kingdom's National Academy of Science, published Philosophical Transactions of Royal Society, with Henry Oldenburg, the Society's first secretary, acting as its publisher and editor. Unlike its predecessor, Philosophical Transactions of Royal Society focuses entirely on the scientific study. It was an attempt to disclose scientific experiments and allow scientists to engage with their colleagues about their work and review data with each other. Up to the present time, it is now considered the longest-running scientific journal in the world. Among the most notable contributors included Isaac Newton, Benjamin Franklin, and Charles Darwin. So what is the process of publishing? Given the multitude of journals to choose from, an author selects one where he wishes to have his work published. An author chooses the journal based on the content of their publication and their intended audience. An author then submits a manuscript to the journal of his choice. Journal editors would then invite 2 or more experts to evaluate the submitted manuscript. The identities of the author will be concealed to eliminate reviewer bias. The reviewers ensure that the authors properly conducted original research or writing for the submitted manuscripts. The reviewers would then forward their critiques to the journal editors, who would then decide whether to accept or deny the manuscript or return the manuscript to the author for revision. Print journals are typically available upon subscription, with subscribers required to pay certain fee or receive copies regularly. Non-subscribers may pay for individual journals they wish to read. As for authors, they pay nothing to get published. However, the Avert of Open Access Journal has revised this scheme. Authors now get to pay just to have their work published, while interested readers get to access most journals online for free. Unlike traditional media publication, the tone in writing journal is very technical. Authors and researchers often encounter obstacles such as lack of understanding about scientific writing and publishing process. Also, the journal publishers encounter fierce competition as several institutions rely on having their journals published to improve their reputation in their respective fields. In line with this, the researchers came up with the following recommendation. Scientific journals should be promoted in multimodal forms, produced for cross-platform uploading. One of these platforms is the social media. Others might say that social media is not a very good venue due to its variety of topics and its relatively low degree of credibility. But we can't deny the fact that these varying topics and numerous functionalities of social media are the reasons why it's used by users with different profile and backgrounds. The researchers think that we can utilize the use of social media. If not directly communicating technical content, it can at least promote the materials. Popular media external diffusion. The researchers also thought of laymanizing packaging to promote the outline of the journals. For instance, the publication of infographics. Infographics is effective in providing highly visual presentation of technical content that might not draw much attention from the audience. These materials can be distributed among institutions of different fields to gather wide viewership, improving the possibility of target audience to intentionally access the journal. Launching. Linkage is beneficial. For instance, scientific journal researchers and authors should tie up with institutions, for example, academies, NGOs, in launching their works. For instance, in universities, instead of just launching the journal, they can also invite young researchers and authors to also submit their scientific work. Getting more people involved, and not just informed, will bring it closer to them. What started out in the year 1665 still proves to be significant today. Journal articles are one of the most reliable ways to circulate and disperse scientific data and information. Journals are dependable reference on information, research, and results. To date, scientific discoveries are being made available to the public through open access, which we are able to break the barriers and bridge the gap between researchers and the layman, a core goal of science communication. In the end, it is critical for scientists to inform the public about important issues, complex problems, and new discoveries. This information can influence how the public votes on the next election, what is discussed at the town hall meeting or community group, what causes they choose to support, or whether they volunteer or not. That's why it's not a stretch to say the entire fate of humanity could rest on scientists successfully communicating and collaborating to help solve the problems that are facing mankind today.